NBT World, a vision of Thailand.
We raise awareness together with the local partner, government, CSO, private sector, and media, as well as influencers, to make sure that everybody know their rights as much as possible and can exercise their rights based on their best judgment and not to be forced to do so. I mean, in terms of having babies or not having babies.
Swadee krap and welcome to Thailand Today. Today we're talking about something that affects us all, which is Thailand's population. We will explore how our demographics are changing and what it's mean for our future. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for joining us today. So today's topic will be about the shaping Thailand's population future. Could you please introduce UNFPA and its mission, especially in Thailand?
UNFPA mission is basically to do population and development in all dimensions, focusing on three things. Number one is promoting sexual and reproductive health and rights, including family planning, prevention, and the management of adolescent pregnancy. Number two is around maternal health. We support women, pregnant ladies to have healthy babies, healthy mom. The third thing will be around promoting gender equality and to end gender-based violence and all the harmful practices.
Oh, I see. So it's a pretty much a very broad perspective, a bit of everything. And how does UNFPA's work to support the Sustainable Development Goals?
For my responsibility as Thailand Country Office of UNFPA, of course, with the global mandate I just highlighted, we specifically support Thailand government, CSOs, at the end of the day, Thai people, to strengthen the capacity in terms of developing the human capital, to understand about their own rights and choices, what are their options in life in order to make their own informed decision. In Thailand, Sustainable Development Goals are very well received by the government and private sector and well as CSO. UNFPA also promoting all 17 goals of SDGs, but we are the leader of SDG, just a few of them, just to give you some example. Yes. SDG number 3 is about good health and well-being, of course, maternal health, teenager health, and sexual reproductive health, and that is SDG number 3 that we support and promote, working alongside multi-stakeholders partner, government, private sector, CSO, academia, and especially young group of people, women and girls. We also support gender equality. That means SDG number 5. When we come to gender equality, it's not only about advocacy or campaigning, but we're focusing gender equality to end gender-based violence. So there shouldn't be any violence whether you are women, men, or LGBTQ family. It's a basic common rights of the human rights. You need to live, free of violence, and that actually is goal number 5. We definitely do goal number 16 and 17 as well. 16 will come to good governance, data. UNFPA is a leading UN agency to do the data in not only Thailand but globally. 17 is SDG around partnerships. We work alongside multilateral partners. So partnership is actually the very good drive to work together with different partners and to deliver the same goal, which is sustainable development for Thailand.
Oh, that's amazing. Could you please explain a little bit more about the number 16? You said data, the good governance. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that topic?
Thank you very much. UNFPA in Thailand, we are very honored to support the National Statistical Office. This year, 2025, Thailand conducted their census, and UNFPA also support them in terms of technical workshops and capacity and promotion as well in terms of getting data as much as possible. And this is the very first time ever in Thailand history that the census is done by, we call it hybrid approach. The traditional way when people can knock on your door, say how many people live in your house and etc. But also the digital version, so people can access the application easily online using internet. And this is the very first time, and the result was very impressive. I was informed by the National Statistical Office of Thailand under the Ministry of Digital and Economic and Development that more than 10 million households actually respond. So the more data we have, the more accurate data that we have, going to be a very key component for the policy development processes. The policymakers can make informed decisions based on the data that they receive from their own population in the country. And this is something that we are very, very proud to be part of the supporters of the Thai government and Thai people to do so.
Oh, so amazing. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And what are the UNFPA Thailand's key priorities and programs that you plan for 2025?
This year, UNFPA have an opportunity to review our work in the past 4 years. We have this 5-year strategic plan we call country program document, and we are in the process to design our new 5-year plan. So we look back at what we have done well or not well, what to take forward, what to pause, and we're also designing the future of our strategic position in Thailand. We were very blessed by many stakeholders to become our reference group, advisory group, to tell us what do you think UNFPA should look like in Thailand. So this is the key strategic policy document. UNFPA in Thailand must take a participatory approach with government, CSO, private sector, youth groups, and also people with disabilities. So we understand about population and development in Thailand context and plan very well about in the next 5 years what we will be doing, and also what can we support Thailand in a better sense and stay relevant regardless of the changing geopolitical landscape in the world.
Wow. So you believe that this kind of framework, it's impossible to do it alone. Collaboration is the key.
Again, SDG 17, partnerships is actually the key of all success in the sustainable development. Of course, we still continue our key mandate, promoting sexual and reproductive health and rights, supporting young people, empower them to do so, ending gender-based violence, doing data, doing population development. We continue doing that, but at the same time, we know we cannot do it alone. We are here as UNFPA to support Thailand, to support the government and the people of Thailand. And there are new issues every day, emerging issues, climate change, all this, all this unrest situation across the world. If we could be part of the solutions, it would be wonderful for us to be honored to be part of those team of the solution side.
Wow, that sounds super amazing. And I heard that Thailand just held the commemoration of the World Population Day. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Thank you. The World Population Day of each day was on the 11th of July every year. This year is very special because we also, as a Women UNFPA globally, we launched a report called State of the World Population in the topic of the real fertility crisis, which not only happening in Thailand. Fertility for UNFPA is not only about number of birth. It's about the limitation of the reproductive agent. And that means the rights, the realization of the rights of the body owner, we call the reproductive agent the body owner. It's not only for women, men, women, or even LGBTQAI++ community. Whoever are in the reproductive age are the reproductive agent. We would encourage all the relevant partners, government, private sectors, even schools, to encourage all these reproductive agents to realize their rights and exercise their rights within the framework of the human rights and gender equality, which is the heart of the UN SDGs, and not less than that, leaving no one behind. You have to process the development, especially people. We're talking about human beings. You don't leave nobody behind, especially those who are furthest behind, the marginalized groups, people with disabilities, or even people with HIV. We need to take care of every group of population in a tailored mode, as much as they would like to.
Wow. So pretty much focus on every single dimensions, every single group, especially the marginalized group that you mentioned. It's a bit hard to really fix that problem these days, but you believe that collaboration with other sectors will help that?
Well, that's definitely the beginning. As our organization, UNFPA, we see ourselves as a friend, as a bridge to connect different ministry, connect multi-stakeholders, private sector, CSOs, young people, and also we provide technical expertise, technical advisory support. The gender-based violence is one of the example. We in Thailand, we have around 67 million people. The marginalized group has a lot of different definitions, but I'd like to highlight one of the very good work of my GBV team. GBV is gender-based violence team, working in two areas in Thailand. One is the up north on the Hill tribe in Chiang Rai province, Chiang Khong province, and another activities in parallels on the three southern border provinces of Thailand. The context of these two groups of populations are totally different. We cannot do the one-size-fits-all policies or intervention. We need to understand their own needs, the specific need that they like. For example, up north, our technical expertise is, I have to really thank our local CSO, Center for Girl. It's a foundation who's been working with the UNFPA for quite some years, and they promote gender equality for the Hill tribe community. The people who normally in the past don't even let the girls go to school because they would see girls as housekeeper or helping the family to do farming, of course, and all the reproductive health and rights not quite there many years ago. But with the intervention and all the technical support provided with the guidance note and all the global thinking and also the SDGs to bring along, with the help and the leadership of the local partner, now the norms and the thinking of the Hill tribe community has changed significantly. There's still some gaps, don't get me wrong, but comparing to 30 years ago, we have come quite far. In down south, contrarily, it's not about keeping to do the farming because the context is not the same as on the mountainous areas. Down south with the Muslim context, we pay a lot of respect to local context and we don't do one-size-fits-all policy. As a Muslim context, women has limited roles in terms of leadership. They still can do their own business like entrepreneur. They can actually go to work as an employee. They can go to school. It depends on the religious school or the Ministry of Education kind of school. But what we see is missing is the leadership roles, basically the community roles. And
so it's more in depth in a way, right?
It's more on the cultural barriers that we respect whatever they are. We just need to encourage them and empower them to understand about their rights. And don't get me wrong, UN never want women to be bigger than men. We never would like to have we women above men or have a little louder voice or higher position. Not at all. We would only love to have them same opportunity with the men. And only that is easy to say, but in reality, when I visited the field down south,
there's still some bias, right?
It's their traditions, it's their norms, which we gradually need to make some change. And gradually, sometimes it could take months, sometimes it could take years, and sometimes it could take decades. As a small contribution from UNFPA, we have seen some changes. We with our local partner, PPAT, thank you for that, we rescued many of the unfortunate survivors of the gender-based violence who were abused by their own family members. And they, a few of them got a new life, got to go to school and don't get abused anymore, with partnerships of the Ministry of Social Development, Ministry of Health, local partner, Ministry of Interior as well. So like I said, one thing you can't just do with one organization. It's all about coordination with different authorities and different local partners. We are very lucky and to be trusted by those lovely partners. But again, there are so many gaps and so many things that we still have to do.
Thailand's strategic vision positions MICE as a national growth engine. Through the Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau or TCEP, the government implements a 5-year master plan to elevate the MICE industry. This includes digital transformation, green standards, and enhanced regional connectivity through smart MICE cities across the country. With streamlined public-private partnerships and one ministry, one convention policy, Thailand aims to attract world-class events and generate inclusive economic growth. The goal is clear: to welcome over 34 million MICE travelers by 2025 and reaffirm Thailand as Asia's MICE powerhouse. Thailand is rapidly transforming into a smart MICE innovation hub where technology, infrastructure, and policy converge to support business events of the future. The country offers seamless digital solutions for planners and delegates alike. The Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau or TCEP leads with a one-stop MICE service platform, and streamlined MICE lanes at major airports ensure swift arrivals. Thailand provides not just convenience, but sustainable innovation at every step. This is where digital advancement meets global business vision. This is Thailand.
Let's move to the 2025 State of World Population Report. They suggest that the real issue is not underpopulation, but it's all about limited reproduction agency. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yes, at the beginning I briefly touched about this topic when we're talking about reproductive agent. It's about individual, basically, individual human being to be able to realize their rights, to exercise their rights in the very informed approach. So how can they be informed? We raise awareness together with the local partner, government, CSO, private sector, and media, as well as influencers, to make sure that everybody know their rights as much as possible and can exercise their rights based on their best judgment. And not to be forced to do so. I mean, in terms of having babies or not having babies, governments can provide supporting policies. Private sectors as well, like nursing rooms in the office, do you have it? Paternal leave, maternal leave, daycare, affordable and quality education for young children. Is it there yet? Is it there and accessible for every group of population, especially marginalized one? If those are in place, not only economic barriers, there are so many social and health barriers that in the report, it's actually in the survey, it said majority of the people globally from the 14 countries in this survey want to have children. But they delayed the decision to have it, not now, or they probably postpone until further notice, not because they don't want children, but because they are not ready. And one of the very surprising, well, not quite surprising, one of the key findings that we found from the surveys is especially from young people, they don't want to have children now because they are worried about the future. Not their future, not their baby future, but the world in the future, how their baby gonna grow up, what kind of circumstances or the situation or society their baby is gonna grow up. If it's too difficult or if it's too jeopardized somehow, they would like to slow down to have the baby, delay the marriage, delay the birth, and that's basically their rights and choices. But if we could, together with private sector, government, CSO, and media, and of course UNFPA is part of the team, could provide them all this information and have the very supportive policies, it is possible for the reproductive agent to make an informed decision about having children, make their life easier.
Wow. So may I ask as an innocent question, what global lessons or trends do you think are most relevant for especially for Thailand today?
In terms of the fertility, all right. Let me give some example from
Yes,
this
please.
particular report. From the 14 countries that we conducted the survey, we have wide range of countries with numbers of average women per birth. We call it TFR. It is total fertility rate. From Thailand, which is 1.2, one woman have average 1.2 babies. Let's say the replacement rate is 2.1. If one woman have 2.1 children, like one for the dad, one for the mom, it should be okay. In terms of numbers, not in terms of rise, up until 5.8 babies per one woman. So wide range, and each country has different economic status, different social status, different religious. Family planning for us is a very good lesson for Thailand. Thailand has been great, doing a very advanced, successful in terms of promoting family planning. We are one of the top countries that not only do family planning in terms of birth, but to stop HIVs. It's a similar approach. There are so many modern ways that you could do the family planning and also stop the HIVs or other STI sexual, disease. However, there are ways that these are the good parts that Thailand has been done so well, but there are some things Thailand has also need to rethink or work together cross ministries in terms of planning how UNFPA or any other partners could support Thailand and in its age society challenges. This is the very big lesson. Aged society means a society that has every single age, young people, working people, and older people, but we have more proportion of older people. If it's more than 20% of the population are above 60, that country will be called aged society. And Thailand is one of them. We are already in full stream of aged population. We have more than 20% of people who are 60 and above. And with the declining birth rate, we're going to become even more than 20% in the near future. The policies and also the actions from the private sector to take into consideration how can we manage these challenges. For UNFPA, it's not crisis, it's a transition. It's the population dynamic shift. People have little amount of babies and people live longer thanks to the universal health coverage. We have this gold card for all the Thai population that could access with the standard health care, which is great. But how can we make sure that our economic growth is still can pursue? How can we make sure that gender equality or the gaps in payment with women and men are still, relatively close? I hope to be closed someday. Equal work, equal pay, or the elder people who are above 60s, and many of them are still very young and active. How can we encourage them or having some kind of policies to enable them to come back to the economic, more like to generate their own income, to continue to be able to take care of themselves. Many of the older people above 60 that I know are more active than me. And they look young nowadays.
I know.
They have lots of good activities. So it's not only physical health, it's mental health, it's intellectual health. It's there are so many things. We will never use 60-something-year-old people to do like hard physical work. Doesn't make sense. But many of them have lots of good experience, lots of intellectual that they could come back to the society and don't just work for, let's say, not for charity alone. They can actually generate more income. And that would be more something we call silver economy. And we're working very closely with the NESDC, the National Economic and Social Development Council, in terms of planning the policies. How can we enable the ready to work older people to come back, become the income generators of Thailand as well. There's some discussion going on around extending the retirement age in Thailand, but with different sector, governments, private sectors, or some other foundations, for example. But for UNFPA, it's all about right and choices. It shouldn't be something forced people to retire at 65 if they don't want to stay. But if they are able to stay and they want to stay, there should be some kind of enabling policy policies or actions to allow them to do so. So that would be very, very interesting to see Thailand move forward on that side because, for example, the UN people, our retirement age is now 65.
Wow.
But we have options. We can do early retirement at 55, 58 onwards until 65.
Wow.
So that is one of the examples that we are having this flexible retirement age.
So we're always talking about collaborations and everything. So what's your message to the policymakers and the public as Thailand is works toward the sustainable and inclusive population future?
So for the policymakers in Thailand, I think there are a few points that not only UNFPA but UN globally would like to encourage them to think about having the society where human rights and gender equality sits in the middle of every policy making process alongside participatory and leaving no one behind. This is the most important part. When you develop a policy, it's supposed to be the policy that benefits every single groups of population equally as much as possible. That's number one. Number two is around realizing rights and choices in reproductive health and also for the gender-based violence. All the policies are great. In Thailand, we have other policies, but I think one of the challenges that we see is around the collaboration of cross-ministerial approach, or we call it a whole of society approach. Not only different ministries, but society has also private sector, CSOs, youth group, women group, academia, musicians, or some influencer and media. All this whole of society approach is not easy to do so. But if you would like to see some real impact from the designing, from the implementing, from the monitoring and evaluation, the whole of society approach is a very strong approach to make sure that all the policy makes sense, all the policy actually works, not only at the national level and also at the subnational level as well. So whole of society is something we would like to encourage to do so. And UNFPA would like to volunteer ourselves to be the bridge to connect all the different part in the society to support the policies process within our mandate, of course. Last but not least is around data. In Thailand, we have a lot of good data. We have great statisticians in Thailand, but there are still some gaps in gender equality data. There's not many survey, there's not many numbers when it comes to gender-based violence. Particularly, you will see numbers from the hospital when people went there to seek for some physical support, and you have number in the police station when people go report the case, and you have to see numbers in the shelter or the emergency home. The people went to get some support, and all these numbers, they don't align. And sometimes database, they don't synchronize with each other. So when the policymaker is going to make decision, it's going to be very difficult to see what actually, what does it mean, and how can the policy makers help addressing these gaps. So this is one of the mission that UNFPA is trying to work with other UN family and also Thai government and academia to find ways that we could do some very sensitive kind of survey around the gender-based violence in Thailand. And again, this nowadays, gender-based violence is not only about women, straight men, LGBTQAI+, they are all people at the risk group for the gender-based violence, and many of them has already experienced it. The UN data said 1/3 women, 1/3 have experienced gender-based violence at some point. So that's a lot. But when you come to the hospital are seeking for support, went to the police seeking for support, the number is much less. So it's about underreporting and under data collection. If we can somehow find ways to collect data that inform like more realistic number, you understand about the real issues. You can see from the medias, from the news, right? But when it comes to the real figure, real number, the data, it is close to the realistic, but it's not yet there. So we would like to encourage about the data strengthening in terms of system and in terms of synchronization of different database from different agencies as well.
Wow. So at the end of the day, every department has to play a massive role to help. And I think data is something that once it's accurate, we can really fix and address that problem effectively. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you
ขอบคุณ
so
ครับ
much.
Thank you for watching Thailand Today. Hope to see you again next week. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ